lot of the activities, especially those that are directed towards communities in South Dakota, really deal with our basic quality of life issues. Our ability to our ability to stay involved with community as well as do some good all adds a lot of value to the quality of our life.
As we age, it's really nice to still be needed. When our children were young, there's no doubt that we were needed. But as we age, when you feel that you're making a difference in the community and truly filling a need that's there, that's good for us. And I'd like to think it's keeping us fairly sharp and fairly active, and that's important.
Welcome back. To serve, not to be served. It's a philosophy AARP's founder, Dr. Ethel Percy Andrus, held from AARP's very beginning more than 50 years ago. And it continues to be at the core of all AARP does today. That's evident in the many ways AARP volunteers are giving back and making a difference in communities all across South Dakota. Just one example, for the past year, AARP volunteers and South Dakota retired teachers in the Pierre area have been volunteering at the Feeding South Dakota Food Bank as part of AARP's Create the Good. Each month, volunteers pack more than 1,300 boxes of non-perishable food items to be delivered to older South Dakotans in need across 24 counties in central South Dakota.
People are in need of food, so we thought that it would be a very worthwhile project to take on.
This collaboration with the AARP Foundation and NASCAR champion Jeff Gordon is helping address the nutritional needs of America's seniors. In South Dakota, nearly 4% of people 65 and older are food insecure, meaning they don't have enough to eat or they can't afford quality, nutritious food. You'll see collection barrels popping up at various locations all across South Dakota throughout the year, including one at the South Dakota State Fair. Monday, September 5th, bring a non-perishable food item to any gate from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. and receive $1 off your admission to the fair for that day. And for more on South Dakota, AARP South Dakota's community service efforts, we are joined once again by Dennis Eisnach and Volunteer State President Pat Gross. Thanks for joining us. Well, Dennis, I know that you've been very involved, particularly in the peer efforts with Feeding South Dakota and packing some of those boxes. Talk about that experience and why you've been involved.
Well, I've been involved at my wife's urging. She's a member of retired teachers, and she has volunteered almost every time they have packed senior boxes. And I have been there most of the time, but it's a very rewarding experience where we pack about 1,200 boxes to go in central South Dakota. And it's a volunteer effort of about 20 people that are putting food items in the packages. And the real rewarding thing about it, Kathy, is the fact that you hear some of the stories from the people that actually deliver these boxes, and these are people that are truly in need.
And that's just one of the many projects that AARP South Dakota volunteers are working on all across the state. Pat, talk about some of the other projects that AARP's been involved with, particularly through the Create the Good program.
Well, Create the Good program has really been a plus for us. It has given us an opportunity to work with volunteers in cities all across South Dakota. For instance, in Mobridge, we've worked on a cemetery improvement program, and in Millbank and Redfield, they've worked on city park improvements. Rapid City has worked on daycare projects, and Watertown has worked on healthcare seminars. So there's been a wide variety and a lot of involvement across the state.
Dennis, I know you spend a tremendous amount of your free time, as Pat does, working on volunteer projects. What is it that drives you to do that, and what do you get out of the experience?
You know, I spent a few years as mayor of Pierre, and one of the things I discovered as being mayor is there's a lot of things in the community that won't get done unless you have volunteers that are doing it. There just isn't money in government to do a lot of those things. And the volunteers in most small communities in South Dakota really do step up, and they do a lot of things for the community that are basic necessity items and also quality of life issues. It's a huge help to the individual communities.
Pat, what do you think people get out of volunteering as they age, and why it's important to continue giving back even well beyond the years that we've been expected to do so?
Well, Kathy, to be perfectly honest, we all want to age with dignity. And many of us have understood, finally, that giving back to our communities and staying involved is one of the best ways to do that.
And one of the new projects that AARP has been involved in is Cities of Service, and we're very fortunate to have two communities, both Pierre and Vermilion, as Cities of Service going forward for this year. Pat, talk just a little bit about that program.
We do have two Cities of Service, and it's given us a great opportunity to work with local officials to really drill down and get involved even deeper by helping them to select a chief service officer, a person who can help them work on critical issues. And both Pierre and Vermilion are involved in that program this year.
Dennis and Pat, thank you so much for being with us today to talk about all the great work that AARP is doing in communities all across South Dakota. For more than 50 years, AARP has been a voice for those 50 and older, providing information and resources to help people live their best lives and empower people to make a difference through a commitment to serving others. Thanks for watching today. AARP South Dakota looks forward to being part of your What's Next. For more information on any of these issues you've just heard about or to get involved with AARP South Dakota, visit us online at www.aarp.org/SD. Call us at 1-866-542-8172 or send us an email at sdaarp@aarp.org or connect with us via social media channels.